Many, many tackle says a hand writing on the wall. Many, many tackle says a hand writing on the wall. I said a many, many tackle says a hand writing on the wall. I said a many, many tackle says a hand writing on the wall. A seraphim, a cherubim, a hand writing on the wall. A seraphim, a cherubim, a hand writing on the wall. A seraphim, a cherubim, a hand writing on the wall. Meeny, meeny, Tekel says a hand writing on the wall. Welcome to Let the Paint Dry. That's an old Jester Harrison song. He was doing a lot of the taking the slave songs, slave and work songs, I believe, and then transposing them into like notes and arrangements and choral arrangements and kind of vertical. I like the more root sound of it. I think I love his work and everything he did, but the more we look about it, it's the more we look back at his work, and this would be my critique with, in the same breath, having a great reverence for the great Jester Harrison. What I feel like it's a bit of, conforming simulation, excuse me, assimilation, a semblance. You know what I'm talking about. Trying to be like, trying to fit in, trying to conform. I'm not going to edit that out. We're going to keep it rough and raw. So, rough and raw, that sounds terrible. This is a rough and raw paint and let the paint dry. But Jester Harrison did songs such as Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up low. Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up low. And the arrangement goes, Elijah, Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout, Elijah Rock, coming up Lord. So those are some of the spirituals. And then the, what's the one? In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus, give me Jesus, give me Jesus. And I think it speaks to the religion that slaves were given. You know, Christianity was given to slaves at the end of a whip. It was beaten to them. They had their own religion and own beliefs, these different slaves coming over. And people who were enslaved, right? They weren't slaves. They were just people who were enslaved. But as we look at that and we look at these songs, we see African people and then generations passed down of like language, right? We see language passed down and dialects passed down, where a song, the slave master may have been from a certain part of the world originally. And you hear Christianity and Christian music given to these slaves, and then they take it and distill it in their own African way, and their own, and then you get gospel music that's birthed, and then you get native, slaves that escaped. They would go to Indian territory, and they would live amongst the original people, amongst the Native Americans, and they would learn their language and learn their songs and cohabitate. A lot of this happened. They would go to Mexico and escape, and then you have gospel music um, that is down in Mexico. You know, they're singing stuff like, I mean, hymns. You know, and then you look at the history of hymns and where they came from, and then how black folks have taken music. You know, like precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, help me stand. I am tired. I am weak. I'm worn through the storm, through the rain. Take my hand, precious Lord. I'm probably mixing up some of the words there and putting them around, but that's the gist of the song. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those notes. Womp, womp, womp. You can hear it. You can hear the pain, right? It's really the blues. Gospel and blues are so close together, you know. Don't you mind people grinning in your face? That's blues, right? Don't you mind people grinning in your face? It's a chant, right? Things are a chant, like chaka 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 chaka. There's a rhythm to a chant. It goes, you know, uh, hold on just a little while longer. Hold on. It's repetition. Just a little while longer. You know, praying stone, cha da ta, da ta. It's a beat to it, right? It's a rhythm. I think all that is mimicking the drum, and the drums were taken away from enslaved Africans. The Native Americans still do the drum circles. I feel like there's a sense, a lot has been stripped from them, and I'm not interested in measuring it at this point. But to a point of just understanding that many of them still have drum circles, but the enslaved black folks, their drums were taken from them, you know, and the drum is so important. So I feel like we recreated it in our bodies. We recreated the sound. If you listen to black music, like just all the gospel, old gospel songs. When I was in trouble, my way was dark as a night. Please, you can hear that bump, bump, bump. Comfort and brought me to the light, right? Then you have the. I was thinking of a song. Jesus gave his life a ransom, yonder on Calvary, on Mount Calvary, cruel Calvary. Pay the way by blood that we might win a bright shining crown. Praise his blessed holy name. Salvation has been brought down. It's a rhythm, right? It's a rhythm right there. Got tick, got tick, got tick, got tick, got, right? Um, so it's just kind of a stream of consciousness of just me pulling just different pieces of songs. And then there's a weeping. I was working on a song the other day for my aunt's service. She passed away. And it was The Lord Will Make a Way Somehow. And I had heard pieces of the song, but then I had to go back and kind of relearn it. I believe this beginning of it, let's see if I can get the lyrics right. Like a ship that's tossed and driven, battered by an angry sea. When the storms of life are raging and the fury falls on me. I look up and I wonder why this race so hard to run. Then I say to my soul, take courage, the Lord'll make a way somehow. The Lord'll make a way somehow. When beneath the cross I bow. Do, 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 do. Take her. Then I say to my soul. Then I say to my soul, take courage. The Lord'll make a way somehow. So when I look at that song, I see blues, and I see this, this. The lyrics are. It look further down in the song, the lyrics talk about, I look around and I see so many people doing well and I'm doing so wrong, and then I just take courage and time, and if I could just surrender to the cross, if I can get low enough. And it's a very heartbreaking tale, but it is the plight and of many a black folk for generations and the mindset they operated. If I could just get low enough, maybe God will have mercy on me and change my situation. And so it's really a bit of the blues, but it speaks to a historical reference of just the economic exclusion, not inclusion, but exclusion that African Americans have gone through, and just trying to exist and seeing the lack of generational wealth passed down. And we see a lot of problems today, you know, and we see the uproar, and we see the it's this narrative and story and power dynamic that is played against, in between the black African American in America and the white structure and white people who enforce that structure, comes through in the music very clearly. And you see the psychology, the psyche, the thought process, the worldview of the black person trying to find a way to hold on to his mental wellness and find it in a sonic vibration that he sings out a cry. And it's blues, it's gospel, it's hymns, it's sacred songs, it's meditation. And it speaks to the power of these things, but it also speaks to what we can do to change it, and really understanding our own power and use that power. Because it's a long let the paint dry. I appreciate your attention and time. Peace.